So Patrick, you published this today, right? Die Hard Arcade.
Was it today? No, it was Wednesday. I posted it.
Oh,
up.
was it Wednesday? Okay.
Yeah, I posted up on this one.
Okay. Yeah, 7/7. So that's right.
I know my stuff.
Best of Saturn, Die Hard Arcade. Talk about it.
D-Hard. So basically, Die Hard Arcade is, of course, everyone probably knows the game, but I'll introduce it anyway. So it was basically a game that was originally put on the Sega Titan STV board. I don't like saying STV; it's too close to another ST and something else. But yeah, the arcade board. It's basically a 3D beat 'em up. You play as John McClane, or I think it's Bruno. I can't remember what his last name is. Bruno something in the Japanese version. That's of course Dynamite Deca, or Dynamite Detective. And you play, and in this game, you play as John McClane and Chris Thompson as you were sent a skyscraper to rescue the president's daughter. It's non-licensed in Japan, like we were saying, so it was basically Dynamite Deca, Dynamite Detective, and I guess when it came to the West, it looked so much like Die Hard, but basically what it was, more or less, pretty much was a Die Hard clone to begin with, and they just went full circle. Like, you know what? We're just gonna try to get the license, and Fox said yes, and now technically, I guess Disney owns it. So yeah, Die Hard is now a Disney property.
This game is probably trapped in like a licensing hell or something like that. I don't know, but as far as Die Hard Arcade, but Dynamite Cop, it was on the Dreamcast as Dynamite Cop, right?
Yeah, Dynamite Cop. And in Dynamite Deca too in Japan.
In Japan,
so, yeah, and it plays this. It's technically the same character, but differently modeled. And in that game, he definitely does not look a lot like John McClane at all, or Bruce Willis. But that's not the only games he was in. He was also in the Project X Zone game as well. I think it's the first one.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, and it's really funny to see him make a lot of references to like using different weapons and a lot of his adventures throughout the games. And that's actually one of my favorite things about Project X Zone is all those references, because it's like a strategy crossover game between like Sega, Nintendo, Bandai Namco, and a bunch of other companies that have all properties. So like you're playing on teams like with Dante, Riku Brujima from House of the Zombie Revenge, and there's like really weird cameos. Like of course there's the guy from Zombie Revenge, where it's like who's played Zombie Revenge in the last like 20 years or had a game for that.
Right.
But yeah, this actually isn't the only Die Hard game on the Saturn as well. The other one being Die Hard Trilogy, which I am not a fan of, to be honest.
It's not great, and I would not say to anybody that it's great. Like I would say go out and buy Die Hard Arcade, or go out and experience it if you haven't. Stop what you're doing and do it right now. With Die Hard Trilogy, it is kind of an acquired taste, but there is a lot of value there in that you do get 3 games, and lots of folks have fun with one or more of those games, and it's easy to say that it was done better on the PlayStation. I've played it on both. I think it runs a little smoother, a little fewer jaggies on the PlayStation version. But be that as it may, I still own a copy of Die Hard Trilogy, and it's fun in small doses. But yeah, it's not the game that Die Hard Arcade is. Die Hard Arcade, first of all, is like it plays just as good as the arcade, because it's like pretty much a straight port.
It literally is, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't 1-to-1 in terms of hardware, but it was close, But that said, it's like the things that are so great about this game are that you can pick up like a huge giant bazooka, and just like blast people away. You can shoot somebody while they're peeing like in a urinal, you can this game
with brooms.
I wouldn't say this is the first game with quick time events, but it's definitely one of the first games where if you hadn't experienced that might have been your first experience with quick time events, where you're just like characters running down the hall, and then it's like beep 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 beep. You got it like same style as Shenmue. And Sega, of course, would be like almost a patented thing that they would do in a lot of their games, is those quick time events that just jump up on you. You don't see them coming. So like once you get used to them, they're coming. But like for the first time you might have ever experienced this, you probably missed the opportunity for the quick event, and then you with this game, it ends up dumping you into a fight that you wouldn't have needed to fight if you just succeeded in doing the punch or the kick or whatever that gets you past whatever enemy is trying to thwart your advance. But
Yeah, and there's a crazy amount of moves in this game.
absolutely, yeah. There's crazy amount of moves, crazy amount of like
moves.
random weapons. There are some frustrating parts where you get like hosed by the fire truck. And it's like when you get knocked down, it takes some time to like get back up, and then you're kind of invincible for a moment, which can be frustrating. But I mean, again, it's with a friend. This game is loads of fun. So
Yeah, it's probably my favorite beat 'em up of all time, potentially.
it is a great beat 'em up. It definitely holds its own with classic beat 'em ups that Sega did. You know, like I mean, I personally think Streets of Rage 2 is amazing. I know you're not like that big of a fan of the Streets of Rage series, but I definitely think that like for the 32-bit era, 3D beat 'em ups, Die Hard Arcade is about as good as it gets. And there's not enough good things I could say about this game, except for the price. The price is pretty out there for like a long box. Definitely get the Japanese version. You're not going to miss out, you know. But
I mean, the only issue is that it's hard to see the Japanese text for the buttons, but I think it's clear enough.
Yeah.
On that one, the only issue it's only the Die Hard Dynamite Cop, the Japanese version, that's hard to see what button to press.
Right. Yeah. And I mean,
that's all Japanese.
Frankly, I haven't played I've only played the Japanese version once when we did a podcast to check it out and see like how well or how close it was to this one, because I own this one, so this is the one I always play if I'm going to play it. But also, Ben, our own Shiro Ben, sent me a copy of this for STV. Well, he sent me an STV as well. And again, I still need to get a Super Gun so that I can go ahead and stream that on a show someday. But again, like that's just not been in the cards for me financially. But as soon as I'm able to get a Super Gun, I'll definitely be plugging it in and doing a stream for this. So that's something to look out for. I promise you guys. I promised Ben, I was like, I'm not going to have you send this to me and then I'm not going to get a Super Gun. So I'm definitely going to. It's just a matter of kind of getting things back to normal after coming back to work from COVID. So yeah.